Tommy Lasorda had some pretty good years in the minor leagues, and as a result, he got called to the major leagues and was pitching for the Dodgers. Didn't pitch much. In fact, he wound up with a lifetime major league record of no wins and 4 losses. Eventually, the bosses of the Dodgers called him in and said, we're going to send you back to the minor leagues to Montreal. And he said, wait a minute. Why are you going to do that? I'm not the worst pitcher on this team. Years went by, and Tommy appeared on the David Letterman show.
Now, what about when a guy is going to be traded? Now, do you tell him that he's done? Do you tell him that he's going down to the minors,
yes,
or that he's going somewhere else?
That's my job, yes.
And how do you do that?
Well,
Is that
it's tough. You call him in and you tell him, and it's very difficult because I can remember many times when I was asked to leave the major league club to go back to the minors. So I certainly know how they feel. But I'm going to tell you something. You talk about an 0-4 record.
Now, you're sensitive about that, aren't you?
But I'm going to tell you my claim to fame in baseball.
All right.
Okay? In 1955, I was with the then Brooklyn Dodgers. And in July, we were enjoying a 14-game lead when I was summoned into the office of Buzzy Bavasi, who was then the general manager. And he said, Tom, I got bad news. I said, what's wrong, Buzzy? One of your relatives sick? And he said, no, I'm going to have to send you back to Montreal, which was our AAA club at the time. I said, wait a minute, Buzzy. What do I have to do to prove to you and the manager that I can pitch on this ball club? In 1954, I was called up in July with 14-5. In 53, I won 20 games. What do I have to do to prove to you that I can pitch here? He said, look, Tom, we must cut one man off this ball club. He said, if you were the general manager, who would you send out? And I, without any hesitation, I said, Koufax. I'm serious. This is a true story. I said, here's a guy that couldn't hit a barn door 60 feet away with a baseball. He was so wild. And you mean to tell me you're going to keep Koufax and send me out? And he said, the rules of baseball provide that if a player receives over $4,000 bonus, he must remain on a major league club for 2 years. So he says, you go and Koufax stays. And now I can walk around and honestly say it took the greatest left-hand pitcher in baseball to knock me off of that Brooklyn club.
We have to do a commercial. We'll be back with Tommy Lasorda.